Welcome to your help video for the quiz 3.02. And just as a quick note, Math Open Reference is a great resource for constructions. We're going to look at that throughout this help video. Alright, so the first type question is going to ask you stuff about constructing a perpendicular bisector. So before we even go over a question, I want to look at the construction for a perpendicular bisector. So I'm here on Open Reference, Math Open Reference, and let's check it out. Alright, so first you have a line segment. You want to place the compass on the point of one of the endpoints. Doesn't matter which endpoint. And then this is really important. You want to adjust the compass to over half the length. So make sure your compass is more than halfway. Then you're going to draw an arc above and below. Then you're going to keep your compass the exact same and move it to the other endpoint and draw your arc above and below. From there, you're just going to take a straight edge and you're going to connect the intersection of those two arcs. And that's going to create your perpendicular bisector. So if we look back at this quiz question, it says Adina is constructing a line perpendicular to JY. She has already constructed two arcs as shown. Alright, she moves her compass to point Y to construct an arc above the line. What must be true about the width of Adina's compass opening before she draws the arc? Alright, remember it has to be more than halfway. We want an arc to intersect from each endpoint, and in order for that to happen, it has to be open more than halfway or else those arcs wouldn't intersect. So the answer here is it must be wider than half. Let's see what the answer is. We definitely don't want it narrower. Not the same. It must be wider. There we go. Alright, let's go on to the second quiz question. The second quiz question talks about constructing a perpendicular through a point not on the line. So let's go to Math Open Reference and look at that construction before we try to answer the question. Alright, so we have a line and then we have a point that's not on the line. Alright, we want to place the compass on point R. And then we want to adjust the compass width to be on the line. So make it bigger than the line. Then you're going to draw two arcs. You want it to intersect the line twice. From there, you're going to put your compass on each of the endpoints and draw two more arcs. And then lastly, you're just going to use a straight edge to connect them. So if we head back to this quiz question, it says Ricardo is constructing a line through point P that is perpendicular to line M. He has already constructed an arc shown. Alright, and then it says he places his compass on point X to construct an arc. What must be true about the width of the compass opening when Ricardo draws the arc? Okay, so he's going to put his point up here on X, and again, he has to adjust it to more than halfway so that when he draws the arc over here, and then he puts it on Y and he draws the arc, if it's not greater than halfway, those two arcs aren't going to intersect. So again, he must adjust the compass to greater than half the distance between X and Y. Alright, so the next quiz question is about how to construct an angle bisector. So before we try to answer this, we're going to go ahead and check it out on Math Open Reference. So to bisect an angle, we want to cut it in half. So we're going to start off by placing the compass point on the vertex, so on point Q. And then we're going to set the compass to any width we want. That's different than a lot of them. We can set it to any width, and we're going to draw an arc that intersects each side of the angle. Alright, from there, you're going to place your compass on one of those intersections. So from where an arc crosses the leg, one of those intersection points, you're going to mark an arc in the interior. Alright, so let's just look at that. Put the compass where it intersects, and then mark another arc in the interior. Do the same thing from the other intersection. And then you're going to take the intersection of those and you're going to draw a line from the vertex to the intersection. So now that we know what it looks like to construct an angle bisector, let's go back to the quiz questions. This quiz question asks you to put all the steps in order. So let's go back and remember our steps. First, we put our compass on point A, stretched it to any width we wanted, and drew an arc that intersected each side of the angle. Then you can go ahead and label those intersection points if you want to. And from there, you're going to put your compass on the intersection point and draw an arc, and then put your compass on this intersection point and draw an arc. All right, so we've got down to here, and without changing the compass, we drew another arc, and then we're just going to connect from A to the intersection of those two arcs, which we have labeled as D. All right, and that's it. For quiz question 4, you're going to look back over question 1 on how to construct a perpendicular bisector because it's going to have the same steps. All right, for constructing a line parallel, sorry that cut off a little bit. We're going to go ahead and check out Math Open Reference to see how to construct a parallel line, and then we'll come back to the quiz question. So to create a parallel line, if we're given a line and we're given a point, I like to use the copying an angle method. So you would want to start off by drawing an angle. So just draw any line that intersects your line and goes through the point that you're given. And then with the compass width about half of that line, JR, draw an arc that crosses both lines. So let's see that. All right, so we have this angle here. Let me tell you what's going on. We have this angle RJQ, and we're about to copy it and create it again. So we set our compass to a little bit more than half of JR, and we drew our arc. Then we're going to use the same compass width and repeat it, but we're going to repeat it from up here at point R. So we're now kind of making point R a vertex of a new angle. All right, and then we want to set the compass width to the lower arc. So we want to make sure that the compass is open to the same amount of that first arc, because we're going to go up here and we're going to create that same arc. So make sure compass width is the same, and then go ahead and make an arc. And then from there, you can use a straight edge to connect R and S. What you've done is you've taken angle RJQ and you've copied it. So now it's this angle here, this something RS. And because these two lines intersect line JR at the same angle, we know that those two lines are parallel. So I like to use the copying an angle method for drawing parallel lines. So back to our quiz question. Now that you know how to copy an angle, you can just put these in the correct order. All right, so again, remember they started off by drawing a line through the point and the line. And then you're going to put your compass on the vertex, and you're going to draw an arc that creates A and B. This would be a lot easier if you could see it. That's why I want you to go back and refer to that Math Open Reference. But these are going to be your steps. All right, remember you're copying that angle. Good luck on your quiz, and make sure you're using Math Open Reference often. It's a great resource.